This is Lake Huron, and of course it gets blurry. There it is. There's Lake Huron on the right side, and over here on the left is Lake Michigan.
And we are where?
And we are on the Mackinac Bridge.
So this is Lake Superior, the northernmost of the Great Lakes. The water in close to the shore is very cold and clear. I'm going to step in it in a minute. Out across there you can see kind of a distant line of mountains. That is across the border in northern Ontario, Canada, north of Sault Ste. Marie. Out there probably about 60-70 miles. Lake Superior by volume, I believe, is the second largest freshwater lake on Earth. Only the Lake Victoria. It's the coldest and deepest of the Great Lakes. Quite obviously the largest. Borders the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, where I am right now. I'm in a place called Paradise, Michigan. Yes, that is the town's real name. And northern Wisconsin, Minnesota, and southern Ontario, Canada. The lake where the Edmund Fitzgerald sank. Anyway, Lake Superior. Alright, so what you're looking at is the Quamanon Falls in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Some people at the base of the lower falls over there. Then the upper falls are over here. This river starts about 100 miles inland in the Upper Peninsula and winds its way down through these low hills. Predominated by black spruce, maple, tamarack trees down to Lake Superior, where it empties into Whitefish Bay. Alright, so here is a stream ravine bordered mostly by paper birch, aspen, and spruce trees in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Just a weird habitat combination because of the steep stream ravine in the hilly area kind of feels Appalachian, but then you've got the North Woods foliage here. Just thought it was an interesting habitat. Here's a There goes a chub, we think. It might be a long-nosed shiner. He's now right, where'd he go?
Right there.
Right there.
I just caught him like, I didn't think I was going to catch him because he just kept playing with it. He didn't even, there he goes. Now he's starting to dart away.
Yeah, so Nolan caught this fish. We're on the banks of this river here in the eastern Upper Peninsula. We saw a little baby snapping turtle earlier, which was my first Upper Peninsula herp.
My first Upper Peninsula fish.
And Nolan's first Upper Peninsula fish you just saw. But I got pictures of the turtle, but before I was able to get any video, he scurried and scuttled under this little, not sure exactly what this is. It's some sort of sapling. Looks kind of like it might be witch hazel or something. Anyway, point being, I missed the video, but I've got one herp at this point. Alright, so here's a snapping turtle, an adult now, at that same river, the eastern Upper Peninsula. We saw a juvenile a little earlier. Well, the video isn't that great. He's underwater, I can't help that. We almost accidentally hooked this guy. Anyway, so 2 snapping turtles now, so far. And 1 fish.
Then I can zoom. Where is he? Oh. Right here. Okay, the sun's in front of me, which makes it kind of hard.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that snapping turtle from earlier I couldn't get you a very good shot of? Here he is, sitting on a log about 20-30 yards downstream for our last fishing spot. Snapping turtle, one of the most common turtles in Michigan. Also the largest. Also the one that is known for being the most cantankerous. Don't want to get your fingers or toes stuck around a snapping turtle. Okay, this is just a look out over Lake Huron real quick. from a spot east of Munising. Not Lake Huron, Lake Superior, excuse me. This is the big spring in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. It's in Schoolcraft County. It's one of the largest natural springs east of the Mississippi River and the largest in Michigan. It's like 40 feet deep. It's got this weird turquoise blue tint you can see to it. I'm going to try to get some of the fish in here on video as we go, and the extent of the natural spring, but right now we're on a self-operated little vessel that you operate with a cable to go out in the middle. So you're looking at the bottom of the natural spring, which is real sandy soil. You can kind of see the water bubbling right there. It's probably about 30-40 feet deep.
Ooh, big one over there. It's really pushing up the plant. Oh, there's fish too.
Up by that end.
Like this?
Yeah.
Right here, a couple of them.
Yeah, I see.
I need the telephoto to get.
Oh yeah, those are carp, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That one is naturally occurring carp.
Yeah.
Probably a big head carp. Little dark gray snakes. Seems to be a little problem with fire ants at this location in Marquette County where we are. You see his red belly here. The red lines on him, dark gray body. Beautiful snakes. I've never seen one before.
Can you turn over?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Did you get his front yet or just his back? And here's a view of the front. Got kind of orange markings behind his head. Western Upper Peninsula of Michigan, near the banks of a lake. Alright, so this is the terrain along Lake Superior in a town called Munising, Michigan. We're in the north central part of the Upper Peninsula, kind of where the Huron Mountains foothills start, east of Marquette. Much different terrain from the rest of the state. Michigan really doesn't have mountains except for up here in the central and western UP. And these really aren't even mountains. They're hills probably 300-400 feet tall that rise off the shores of Lake Superior, which I've already videoed once before over by Paradise. And if you went straight north from here, you would come to a point just east of Thunder Bay, Canada, and you would cross some of the deepest water in the entire Great Lakes, over 1,000 feet deep. There's the marina over there. An old fishing town, settled by Scandinavians and Finns and such. And just a little point of political economy and history here to factor into my herping and fishing trip video. The Upper Peninsula culturally is much different than the rest of the state because it was settled not mostly by Germans or by Irish and Scots, but by Finns, Swedes, Norwegians, and some Germans. And it tends to be more liberal economically, but more conservative socially than the rest of Michigan. And for a while, the Upper Peninsula actually tried to split off of Michigan, along with northern Wisconsin and Minnesota, to form a state called Superior. There's a little interesting. Hey Noah, what kind of duck is that? Oh, it's just a female mallard. Oh, and the Upper Peninsula was gotten originally by Michigan from Ohio. well, actually from Congress, as consolation for the fact that we lost to Ohio in kind of a proxy war that never went real hot over the Toledo Strip and Maumee Bay. And because we lost the Toledo Strip, Congress granted us the Upper Peninsula, which at the time we thought, wow, that's a wasteland, but actually it has turned out to be a boon for us in the tourist economy with copper and iron ore deposits. Yeah. These are some interesting shorebirds hopping around 5 feet to my left, seemingly unaware of my presence and acting kind of nonchalant. I think these are piping plovers. I'm not sure. Are these piping plovers?
Yes.
Yeah, these are piping plovers. So we're looking down at Lake Superior right now, about 200 feet up on the cliffs of the pictured rocks.
If you look over here, it looks like the water is bubbling from underneath.
There's where Lake Superior really opens up. Over here through this tree, I'll get you a better shot in a minute. There's a big cliff face, and that's the reason that they call this national lakeshore the pictured rocks, because they're sheer granite faces along Lake Superior. Right down there. It's about 100-foot tall granite cliff. Alright, this is the minor river in the central Upper Peninsula. We're in the Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore still. This thing flows out there past those sand dunes to Lake Superior. Kind of merges with the lake water right about there. Alright, so this, when I was in the water, I thought this was a regular old green frog, but upon pulling it out, I realized that the lime green chin here was not just a fluke. You see how the back of his head is kind of mottled between bright green and brown, and then you have irregular black spots on his back there. Then you have black bands on the legs, right there, as opposed to solid brown legs. This is what you call a mink frog. A lot of specimens look very much like green frogs when you first look at them, but they're slightly different. They occupy pretty much the same habitat, although they do prefer colder waters. So I should have kind of suspected this, because this water is pretty frigid.
Right.
Lake Superior is right there, and this is flowing straight down out of the Huron Mountains. So this is not normal pond temperature water, and they like flowing water, which this is. Mink frogs only live in the northern part of Wisconsin. There he goes. Now you see him in his habitat. I already got enough good footage of him in my hand. Northern part of Wisconsin, kind of the northern part of the Northeast, you know, upstate New York, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and northern Minnesota. So I've never seen one just because I've never been up to this part of the state. There's a quick and easy lifer, number 21 of the year on the herp front, mink frog. And I forgot to mention on the video that the mink frog that hopped away just now was corralled by Nolan, as was the red-bellied snake earlier today. Nolan spotted that one. So Nolan is 2 for 2 today. Alright folks, I made a bit of a faux pas there. I closed the shutters to open.
Yeah.
We're looking at the moon over Lake Michigan, which is just a beautiful sight. The camera really not doing it justice. Between some clouds, and you can see the moon shimmering off of Lake Michigan.
You need
black night.
You need a scientific explanation. You see, the sun reflects onto the moon, and then the moon takes that light and casts it onto the water and onto the land.
And that's Nolan with his John Madden impersonation. Pictures.
Okay, this toad just found road cruising. As you can see, it is probably bigger than the size of Nathan's hand. That is one of the biggest toads I have ever seen. Okay, let him hop. No, we're not gonna let him hop because he's like getting away.
Sheboygan County, kind of an eco site back here.
Is it recording?
Sheboygan State Park. There's a green frog.
Make sure it's recording. Press that button. Press it. Here's a skink. Here, let him.
Got him.
Alright. This is a skink.
5-line skink.
5 lines.
Juvenile. See his bright blue tail?
Juvenile 5-line skink. Yeah.
Gotta get some light on him. Make sure he's.
It really needs him.
Hold him out so he's not.
It's just a skink.
Wasn't recording that whole time. Alright, let's take 2, because I wasn't recording the first time. This is a Massasauga rattlesnake. He is dead on a road here in northeastern Michigan in some very sandy country. And it's bizarre because, well, first of all, here's a habitat. Pretty shrubby jack pine. And it's almost as if something just killed him for the rattle, or a truck just ran over the very end of his tail, because the rest of his body is intact and he's sitting upright on the road. You can see that pattern of kind of black hexagon, pentagon type things, and classic pit viper shape on the head. He's a pretty big Massasauga, about 2.5 feet, and really fat. But anyway, just sitting here dead on the road.